Hello everyone and welcome to ESL One Frankfurt 2016 European Qualifiers. Two semi-finals coming your way tonight, and we're starting with the best of three between Virtus.Pro and Natus Vincere. Capitalist, my linguistic co-caster.
I'll be your English translator for
Привет,
Russian Toby 1. Toby just told everybody that he thinks my casting is much better than his.
That is not what I said.
That's exactly what he says. Trust me, guys, I'm a translator.
Yeah. I've seen some. Let's talk about a draft.
Sure.
Primarily because, what a surprise, every single time up against Na'Vi, Chen, an Enchantress band. I don't have a statistic on it. I'm going to throw a random number out there of 99.999999999 recurring, of course, percentage chance that a team will be banning out both Chen and Enchantress against Artstyle every time.
Yeah.
Pretty high chance.
That sounds about right. You don't want to give it to Na'Vi. As some haters would say, that's like the only heroes that he can play. As the fans of Na'Vi would say, they just happen to destroy teams when they get Enchantress and Chen.
Oh, where's your bat right? Speaking of like people who come under scrutiny for only playing one hero, you get the Faceless Void instead here for Na'Vi, and they're taking the Void without having the combination with the Enchantress, which is normally what they looked for in the past, but that's why General just always gets the Bat Rider now. But you get Dendi Invoker and you get General's Void as the first two from Na'Vi.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty good opening on both sides. It's kind of interesting that both teams are willing to reveal their mid and off lanes, but I think this is something that is it's somewhat specific, I think, to this matchup. Just because we know that Void or Bat Rider are going to be high priority for Na'Vi because of General's playstyle. And we also know that that the Invoker is a really good combo hero with it, as well as the OD. So Virtus.Pro are going to take one of those two heroes, and then they get the Furion, which I think is just one of the like premier class offlaners right now. I really do think that Nature's Prophet in his versatility offers you just something more than any other offlaner does right now. Just because it's the combination of the aggression as well as the laning phase, right? So the laning phase can always work for Nature's Prophet because there's so many different things you can do. You can double summon Treants and go for the pull behind the tower and pull the creep wave across. You can double summon Treants and just run them at the support. You can, do a lot of different things. It always works out for a Nature's Prophet. So that means your laning phase is always going to be good. And you combo that with the fact that this patch is currently, I would say, relatively aggressive with your supports moving around a lot. You have a lot of 4-position roamers, which is why Bounty Hunter and Earth Spirit are oftentimes Bounty Hunter, Earth Spirit, Chen, Enchantress, and Doom. I would say are your kind of like main 4 positions right now.
Yep.
Doom is kind of situational to certain regions. I'm not sure if like the Americas run it so much, but China obviously was very big and it's made its way into Europe now.
Yeah, I've been casting so much Europe and CIS Dota that Doom is appearing in almost every single game, and Prophet banned out normally in the first two. So surprisingly he gets let through because it ends up having this, well, the OD battle, and another major hero, especially a safe lane hero, which CIS teams are turning to more and more. I'm going to blame half of Team Spirit for starting this, the CK armlet on the safe lane. Even though Diggity were actually running the CK safe laner, they didn't do it with the direct armlet. They actually went a little bit more of a long road around to get there, but same kind of thing. And just a lot of strength safe laners, which are able to catch out heroes like Nature's Prophet. In fact, I think most of the Nature's Prophet games which got played, there was always a Spirit Breaker support that was picked up directly after he was selected. They want something that can catch out the Prophet, something that can keep him at least scared of TPing outside the base or into random locations that he can do.
Let's see. I think one of your good heroes for Na'Vi at this point in time is going to be maybe something like a Disruptor. I like the Witch Doctor combo with the Faceless Void. You're looking for, I think, more, a little bit more control. I just really like Disruptor versus OD as well as Furion. I think those heroes match up pretty well. It offers some control against some of these other heroes as well, the Doom and the Wind Ranger. This is obviously going to be a pretty greedy lineup from Virtus.Pro you're looking at. The Wind Ranger I haven't actually got a chance to cast or really watch hardly any European games lately, so I don't know if you guys have seen any Wind Ranger supports at all.
No Wind Ranger supports, only mids.
Okay, because in the Chinese scene, we have actually seen 2 different teams run Wind Ranger support, which is kind of interesting. But in this specific matchup, I just naturally assumed, though, that it was going to be a mid because this leaves our OD safe lane, which is so good versus Faceless Void. Faceless Void gets destroyed by OD. You know what? Not Faceless Void. Any offlaner gets destroyed by OD. It's like literally the toughest safe lane carry to go up against right now.
The only issue I see when you run a safe lane OD is if you're looking for a big controller. Like, I've seen a lot of ODs with Faceless Voids being paired. And then, like, well, there's no real big burst damage. There's no big timing. You can see it coming at you like a truck, but it means you can prepare for it when you run the safe lane OD. So that's my only concern when I see an OD picked up for a safe laner. But, so we assume it's 4 Doom, 2 Wind Ranger, 1 OD, 3 Prophet.
Man, VP are just not going to have a whole lot of supports left in the pool for them. They went all this time saving their 5 position for last, which is pretty interesting considering that's what FNG is going to be playing.
I'm assuming he goes something like a Bane at this point. Like, you need some level of control against the Lycan so he can't run away. Like, I know you mentioned the Disruptor, but you also have little to no stuns coming out from VP.
Winter Wyvern, I think, would be a solid ban here by Na'Vi. You have an Invoker who summons Forge Spirits, and you have Lycan, who goes for the Necronomicon build, like 99% of the time. So I actually think that would be the wisest ban, just because it would function so well. Plus, you know, Na'Vi is going to be doing kind of a bit of pushing, so yep. I think a pretty smart here ban here by Na'Vi. Supports left in the pool. Oh, man, there's really not much left.
That's why the only one that comes to mind is Bane.
Yeah, I think Bane is a pretty solid candidate. Venge is taken out. Rubik and Skyrath and CM are still in the pool. I think Crystal Maiden actually might be Navi's hero if they still want to go for a 4 position, just because there's not many left. Doom, Chen, Enchantress, Enigma, all been taken away. I don't think there's any other junglers for you to go for. So if you want to try and go that route, you go Crystal Maiden on Navi. Virtus.Pro, I think VP's last pick, it would just be really hard to call in general. I think it was kind of just a grab bag. I really think they wanted the Winter Wyvern quite badly, and they were screwed by Navi's last ban, which is surprising to me that they went for the Wind Ranger 4th pick, because they could have gotten their hands on whatever support they wanted early on, and still done the, oh, surprise, we're running safe lane OD and something else mid.
A Treant Protector. This isn't the control I was looking for. Damn it, I should have said that. In the back of my mind, I'm like, well, okay, if Treant Protector is going to hold you back, you need some more direct damage into buildings. Na'Vi right now have a lot of chip work. The Lycan can help with that, but Liquid Fire is so damn good against a Treant Protector. And VP, like, their counter push is something else. Like when you run a 4-position Doom and then a 5-position Treant Protector, you're just pushing it. Actually, no, that's a 4-position Prophet. Let's go be a
the
junk.
change of this, I believe, comes from the fact that
Doom's got no counter push that bottom lane.
10 seconds remaining.
That bottom tower is going to go down if they can get Jakira some early levels, and like, at least get to run a jungler. That's a nice point.
We've seen the Nature's Prophet 4 position a couple times. Not just the pure jungle Nature's Prophet. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Nature's Prophet that actually goes around and harasses people. But am I missing something? Has FNG been playing offlane recently, or? Because again, I haven't actually watched.
This is the first game of...
Oh, he is. He has been. Oh, he's been playing like Faces Void. Oh, I didn't know this. Oh. How long has this been going on? Again, I've been on the Chinese schedule, so...
Have a look back through his stuff. I've been casting every other team apart from VP.
Yeah, so no Fear and Aloha Dance on the support. Oh, I think I remember hearing about this actually. I remember, yeah, because I remember thinking like, oh, I'm sorry, this is just a brain fart. Because I remember hearing about this and going like, really? They're putting Aloha Dance back on support, but that guy's such a godly core. You know, because like Aloha Dance is just really good at everything essentially, so he's able to do kind of both. So yeah, I guess ever since. Okay. Sorry, I'm sure people were yelling at us about that.
That's fine. We move on.
The European Dota scene.
It looks like for now you're gonna have General attempt a rune grab. Maybe. He's hiding inside of Roshan. Yeah, he's going to walk out, try and pick up the rune in time, walk himself away, and he actually got away with it too. Dispels all the damage, munches on a tango. They just got both runes for very little effort. If you had any other support, which could have actually had a stun or control factor, maybe they could have stopped him from doing that, but he just got away with murder. Highway robbery, and they're going to switch the lanes also to put Yoku on this off lane.
Oops.
Well done, Blitz.
My bad.
I mean, Cap. And FNG's going to run the safe lane Prophet. But Na'Vi also switched. That Lycan's not going to safe lane. That Lycan's off lane with art style.
Yeah, this is really interesting. They keep the OD matched up against the Faceless Void, which I believe is a win for VP. The safe lane Furion does fine against the
Lycan.
The Lycan Witch Doctor. That shouldn't be a problem at all. In fact, it's a lot easier to run safe lane Prophet against Witch Doctor than it is off lane Prophet because of the fact that the Witch Doctor is so reliant on being able to get his paralyzing cast on the treants and zone you out from there, right? He tries to kill your treants and then zones you out personally.
Ooh, I think God might be dead if he's not careful. Then he's got Sunstrike available, and God going to be a little bit more elusive.
The what you're oftentimes seeing is that Invokers are really holding on to their Sunstrikes, even when you think like, oh yeah, but if they land this Sunstrike, they'll get the kill. The thing is that the Sunstrike is so unlikely to actually hit because the enemy mid is always going to be looking to dodge. That they just don't want to expend the mana because the Exort Invokers right now are spamming Forge Spirits constantly. So they really just can't afford that heavy mana cost of using Sunstrike, which is like a really costly spell. It's 175 mana. You look at that, you can only cast 2 of those with your mana pool.
I can imagine that also being a bit of a problem when hello, Snako. There's nothing here for him.
Fly, dragon, fly! Go for the courier!
He's hunting.
He's gonna hunt it down.
God, it's
the
like
micro.
It's like Game of Thrones, but the courier's
micro.
too smart. Instead he goes down the bottom lane, he's going to find no fear. Wait, that's just one Twitcher dragon. General won't do anything against this. I'm interested to see how long they actually want to keep Snako on this mid lane. Because he's combining it with Dendi, but because of, like, obviously Snako staying a long time in this mid lane, God's starting to out-level Dendi. And Invoker always needs to get that level progression up. I know it's also pretty heavily tied into the him picking up that Hand of Midas. But right now I'm not seeing the heavy farm, FNG. They're going to get those wolves up and running, but Living Armor is going to protect FNG. It's just an early aggression move there from the Witch Doctor with the early point of Malediction.
Yeah, fortunately, Artstyle's got the wolves to back him up when it comes to dealing with those treants. It's a tough role to play. That 5 position when it comes to zoning out the Nature's Prophet. Like Kyros Faceless Void, it becomes like an individual positioning game, and it can actually be kind of fun zoning him out. Nature's Prophet is just not a fun hero to try and zone out because you have to be so precise with your trades. Because you need to try and kill the treants, but not take too much damage from them, then challenge the Furion, keeping them out of experience range. But obviously, the safe lane Furion, it's just not really possible to do that, particularly if you have the Treant Protector, also giving him living armor. This is definitely a big boost for the laning phase for VP, but Navi's looking at a lineup that is going to reach this kind of snowball phase around 15 minutes, and they'll just grow and grow and grow until about 25-30 minutes when they have those the Necronomicon 3 plus Vlad's Blink on the Faceless Void. I think this is a Vlad's game, by the way. Not a big fan of the Faceless Void going for Vlad's most of the time. I feel like it slows down your item progression way too much. Just get the basic Morbid Mask. But in certain games where you have 2 other physical damage dealers, I think that's when you do get the Vladimirs. Because you've got both the Invoker as well as the Lycan. They both have summons as well that are going to take advantage of the Vlads. So I think it's pretty important for General to get that build in this game.
I know that's one of the things that Swindles, when we were casting the EC qualifiers, was kind of going ham about, where he prefers the offlaners to be a lot more, like, to actually give support auras and not just having that straight out initiation item. You get a little bit annoyed when we had rushing Blink Daggers. Actually just got the headdress and then went into a Blink Dagger. Get a little iffy about that one. Okay, so Snako spends most of his time on the bottom lane now. General's getting closer and closer towards that Chronosphere. So they can have a little bit more of a combination. Odie just gets healed up by no fear, and in fact, Snako's going to be careful. There's 15 points of intelligence stolen off him and given into Yoku, and he can just run himself out with a Wrath of Nature. Yep, there it is. First blood, a little over aggressive for a Jakiro. He's not the fastest of creatures, especially when the creature has no boots. And really almost no net worth to his name either. He's got 133 net worth.
This is why I brought up the idea of the 4-position Crystal Main, because I really didn't like the idea of them doing a full defensive tri-lane. So if they were going to pick up another support that doesn't jungle, they have to do like dual lanes, I think. And there was just no good dual lane heroes left, particularly because you actually needed a ranged hero. VP had the advantage of being able to go for one of the melee supports in Treant Protector because of the fact that they had a ranged carry with them. So that side lane still offers the combination
coming in for Dendy.
harassment.
Dendy's on the tree line too, so shackles are a lot easier. In fact, even shackles up to the high ground. And a great rotation. This is that presence which you talked about that can come from a Nature's Prophet. I don't even think he was really required. VP just really good movement across the map.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I still see some problems with VP's lineup, with the way they drafted Wind Ranger and Treant Protector last, but honestly I like a lot of what they're doing right here. They're using the Furion correctly. They, in combination with the Wind Ranger, it's like a free gank on the mid lane every single time. They're pressuring with both the Furion and the Doom that middle lane tower because they know that Na'Vi don't have rotational supports.
They really want to kill off Dandy again. FNG just did a real short range TP. Was enough to get the Sprout into a shackle, and the Doombringer cracked level 6. So Dandy dies 2 times in the space of 1 minute. The trade-off is the tier 1 tower up on top lane, but if VP rotate hero is up to this, all of that chip damage that Na'Vi has done will be repaired by the Treant Protector.
No, I don't think you actually try
and
and save. Yeah, you give up your safe lane tower. In the current meta, it's very common. You're going to see teams giving up their safe lane towers. Carries oftentimes just abandoning their lane entirely because the way that this patch and even previous patches have developed, the supports full rotate out with smokes into the safe lane most times. Right, so just it actually becomes that the safe lane, despite, you know, it's actually a little oxymoronic now, that name, the safe lane, because it no longer is, really. Once you reach into this, like, anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes, it's no longer safe at all. It's actually one of the most dangerous lanes in the game. Actually, probably is the most dangerous lane in the game. Mid, you can easily rotate into. There's always the pressure of like supports that are going to be there if you try and gank the mid. But see, this is the thing about VP. They recognized that there was no chance that Na'Vi would be there behind that mid lane tower. So they could go for those really aggressive dives on mid because Na'Vi simply do not have the kind of rotational heroes that can punish that kind of play. Like, at best, you have a Witch Doctor who's going to come in with Paralyzing Cast, but that doesn't even matter because you have Fury and Treants on the field. So there's really nothing Na'Vi can do when they just aggressively run bodies at Dendy time after time.
So all you do is trade and what, wait for a good timing? Because Dendy still needs to wait a long time to finish up that hand of Midas if he is. The Lycan looks like he's actually the man building the Vlads for Na'Vi. And it won't actually be the Faceless Void. So how do you do this? Like, General's not going to inflict any damage. He's got control, but with even without a Witch Doctor, they need a Witch Doctor ulti from Artstyle to give some damage into the Chronosphere, but that may not also be enough. Because you got OD, you got Imprison Save, you got Living Armor, you got Leech Seed, you've got Wind Run potential. You've got Doombringer who's got a Regeneration Aura kicked in as well. Right now, he's giving over like 6 health regen to all of his teammates in the lane too. Yeah. This is a lot of life for VP just to walk into Na'Vi with.
Yeah, what you need to do as Na'Vi is not focus on what VP has, but what you don't have, right? In which case, that is level 6s. You need to get level 6 on the Jakiro and level 6 on the Witch Doctor before you contest a push by VP, which is why VP are, like, they're speeding up this game so much, right? The laning phase lasted for what, maybe 6 minutes before they started going for those dives at mid, pushed down the mid tower, went bottom, took that tower as well. So all Na'Vi can do right now is split push. All they can do is focus on whatever lane VP is not in, they go for a push on that lane and try and make as even trades as they possibly can until they're able to build those items, or rather just levels, that allows them to be able to contest VP for maybe not even tier 1 towers, but tier 2.
He's looking towards Artstyle. Artstyle doesn't want to throw out the paralyzing cast because just is FNG isolated there, and it's just one quick hit from FNG to get that kill. Wrath of Nature still available, going to start bouncing through the wave. Sunstrike pretty well on target to kill up Nature's Prophet, not to mention the Chrono from General doing some work as he scutters himself away. A nice Icebarn from Snakeo. Na'Vi just trying to create space. The buyback came out almost instantly from Artstyle as he looks for a revenge kill. Right now, only Lycan's Wolves are able to get it, and God will actually get the dieback over on that Na'Vi captain with the power shot to Snakeo. It's not enough damage to get the kill. But they'll end up being a 3-for-2 trade-off. But you do bring down basically 2 of the cores of Virtus.Pro for 1 offlaner and 1 support twice over.
Yeah, that fight wasn't terrible for Na'Vi, honestly. The fact that they got the OD was really good. The Invoker was able to pick up his Midas off of that game. I think that was actually a good game. I think in part because of the fact that Artstyle was willing to buy back like that. I think he recognized how critical that mid lane fight was to Na'Vi's success. They had to be able to put a stop to VP at some point in time. And yes, it wasn't the battle that they chose. They did not, ideally, they wouldn't have a battle in that mid lane. They wanted to be able to push down the mid tower while VP were pushing out the bottom lane and going for that tier 2. But they ended up kind of getting caught, and the resulting fight, well, it went okay for them. I think it was good for their cores, and that's the most important thing right now. Jakiro, you know, he's going to be able to have his level 6 pretty soon. And the reason I'm really emphasizing level 6 on Jakiro is not because it's particularly good 90% of the time. Jakiro is actually a pretty bad level 6 hero. But Macropyre works with Faceless Void. And that's kind of like the only hero that it really, truly works well with is Faceless Void, because it's a big AoE disable that lasts a good amount of time.
I was actually wondering if you'd go for that or not. FNG, Malediction, there's your Ice Pass, Sunstrike's going to connect with the Death Ward damage. Malediction will pop him. Or will it? You still got Living Armor, which has managed to repair a lot of the damage, gets back to
he stays alive.
Yep,
yeah.
He'll live. Top lane though, Diddy Ram might have a couple more issues. Focus Fire coming out from God. Take a little bit more damage, and he's got the Mithril Hammer, a perfect shackle into a power shot. He still can't find the kill, but at least he can be a bit of a nuisance.
Yeah, it forces rotations. It looks like he's going to be going Desolator first item, which is...
You going to say Desolator or Maelstrom?
I mean...
Because right now it looks like VP is still doing a pretty damn good push.
I guess it is Maelstrom, but I am not a big fan of that item build. Like, if you're going to go any item builds that is not Ags, I like the Desolator builds. If you're doing some sort of like, okay guys, we're really going to try and punish them and try and take towers as fast as possible. Like, okay, that's some sort of sound game plan. I feel like the Maelstrom is an unnecessary item build most of the time.
You might want to start picking the brains out of the CIS and European players, because this is the build I've normally been seeing. It's just been Maelstrom into Aghanim Scepter, and then maneuverability item, so Blink Dagger or 4 stuff.
The advantage to this build is that it does offer you early damage. The big con is that it leaves you very, very squishy, and it can actually slow down your damage later on.
Nofia, it's going to ulti and straight TP out. Necrobook's got triggered, and Nofia will survive through that. You could have actually potentially just Nature's Geist. Maybe he didn't know if there was a sentry there or not, but yeah, he was actually good. And now with that maneuver, because like an ulti is down, Necrobooks are triggered, VP instantly go into Roshan. They've got OD and they've got Treants. Like, how is this ever a bad thing for you on the Dire side if you got this VP lineup?
It's only a bad thing if you're facing up against some sort of big AoE disable that scouts you out, and Na'Vi do know about this Roshan attempt. General is ready to go with his Chronosphere. He's going to get 2 here.
Yeah, he managed to catch him up. Now God positioning himself for the Shackle. Only mini-stun over on Dendy. He wanted to stop R-Style, but this is that OD imprisonment, which really just changed up the targets, and then the Doom on a General. Sprout catching out R-Style. God again lines up for the power shot kill. So 2 heroes down. Chrono is now down, as well as like an ulti. They can finish up Roshan.
Yeah, really bad play there from Na'Vi. Not very well coordinated at all. The setup by General was perfectly acceptable. Really well done by him. They should have been able to just blow up one hero, or at least threaten VP pretty badly that they couldn't go for that Roshan. Then they just got so greedy. They ended up trying to push forward like they did. General should have never gone for the Doom. He should have just backed out. They did lots of damage to 2 different heroes. There's no way that VP can actually go for a full 5-man fight and push towards you. But it's because of the fact that Na'Vi ended up playing into VP's hands that they were still able to play that fight out. Imagine if Na'Vi just backed up and consolidated their forces around the Radiant side high ground of their jungle.
Then as VP are in the position where they have to make the choice, like, do you chase out and try and fight them, or...
Yeah, exactly.
Like, do you just play this stall? I don't know if we can take Roshan or not.
Yeah, they don't have their mech yet. They only have living armor. Those heroes are low enough that that would be a fight they would not want to take. Hardstyle getting picked in the mid lane. That's just the advantage of OD. At this point in time, when he's got his Rod of Atos, he can pretty much kill anyone without an escape mechanism, and most of these heroes do not have an easy one. So he can just run down heroes left and right, and with the Aegis on him, he can do so solo without really fearing that he's going to be punished real heavily. It's just unlikely that Na'Vi are going to be able to catch Yoku in a position where they are able to kill him twice before VP are able to rotate in.
You know, it's a bad position when you have to use macro pyre to keep a creep wave out. Especially a creep wave, which was a little bit too far away from the macro pyre. So VP can still keep pushing this lane. Like, the focus fire is on cooldown for the moment for God. So this push can't really continue. I think General's looking for a solo pick on top too. Like, the Force Spirits are moving into position to have a crack at FNG. Yeah, he sprouts just for pure vision there. Worried that someone was too close.
Despite what I said about the Vlads, and I do think General should still go back for it, I really like the fact that he's not completing the Vlads just yet, and I believe he's going straight for the Blink Dagger.
He's got it though, because Diddy Ra finished up the Vlads.
Oh, you're right.
And yeah,
yeah,
started his Necrobook.
I thought he would go for a faster Necrobook and have his, and he would be the one
top
to
lane
go for the plane map.
There's your void jump. General just waited till FNG came to the lane. The Sunstrike, man, that is such minimal damage. And Dendy also missing the Deafening Blast. FNG can start the chase. They got Wrath of Nature up and available. He's already triggered his drum charge, and General leaps himself over into the tree line. There's no one that can get close enough to stop him. But FNG's really happy with that, and you do start to have like a very old counter to the Faceless Void. Back when Void was being run as a 1 position, normally you'd have like this damage dealing Void, right, Bill? But when you got living armor, like you're losing out on a lot of the time inside that Chronosphere to inflict damage.
Yeah, Void's just not a very good right-clicking hero. He wasn't that good as a carry as he used to be, and then now that he's offlane, it's obviously even worse because you're just getting less farm, so less damage items picked up for you. But going back to it, I think Blink Dagger is essential here because he has to get a Chronosphere on the Wind Ranger and then also catch the OD at the same time, so there's no imprisonment save. Because with this build on the Wind Ranger, they can easily blow him up, but...
Snako, shackled, Diran's going to jump into the oldie form, but Snako's already down. The lightning bouncing around him with the big ulti, the root from Tree and Protector. They need another stun, and there it is. Oh. The shackle from God. Diran's on the run. Just over 200 life to his name. And he will be able to escape from this.
Oh, G's just trying to blink forward so he can get another good power shot. You could see him. He's trying to hunt him down. That was the Arcane Rune, 100%. The only reason that he had a chance of being able to get that kill was because the Arcane Rune, lowering the CD of Shackle Shot like that.
Are they trying to... No Fear's down here. He's going to try and get rid of the Necrobook. It's a better time it anyway, so there's no point God just sticking around attacking this. But Denny was looking for that quick pick too. These Wolves are just scouting out VP a hell of a lot, but it doesn't stop them from finding kills. Like OD, like while all that was going on the bottom lane, you again lost General in the mid lane to the OD. With a Blink Dagger and a Rod of Atos, there's no way the General can escape from this.
Ether Lens complete for art style. I'm not a big fan of the Maledict build, but in a game like this, you're very clearly lacking in damage, and this build will help build that up a little bit easier. There's just not a whole lot of survivability to this Na'Vi squad. There's not much point in going to the Voodoo Restoration if OD is 3-shotting people.
Floyd, you get the Chrono on the Wind Ranger, but OD imprisonment.
See, this is why you got to get both.
4 seconds of timeout, and then OD jumps forward. 3 hits is almost all he takes to kill off Artstyle. He's going to have to make it 4, but it still goes to work. And with the sprint up on the hillside, they saw Snako and General running out. Power Shot's going to miss, but there it is again. With a Rod of Atos, Snako can't get himself out of this one. And it just seems like easy pickings. First you cripple, then you kill.
Yeah, I think that, you know, I wasn't a big fan of the Treant Protector. I thought they really didn't have many options left. But when I guess they got a really good support against Lycan. They are able to get good information off of this hero as well. And it just kind of gave them that laning phase boost that they needed to be able to roll through. And essentially catch Na'Vi before Na'Vi could get their Necronomicon build going.
I actually thought Yoku was going to blink himself forward. Again, defensive imprisonment, making that Death will do almost no damage with the Shackle on Didi Ra. He's not looking healthy either. Finally, no fear will go down, but Yoku, he already had stolen intelligence before the fight began, so he threw the ulti down. That was a quick and efficient kill over on Didi Ra. Paralyzing counter again is going to make it problematic for FNG to just walk himself away. Malediction as well, and now they doom over on General. The Sunstrike will miss his target, primarily because VP, they turn to fight. They've already taken out the Ranger Axe in mid. They've got practically everyone alive, and the Treant Protector will give them living armor again soon. They'll take the mid racks.
Yeah, I think this game is pretty much over because VP are not going to scale down at all. Every single one of their heroes is actually really good late game.
Oh, they just need some kind of hope. Yoku's going to blink up and go for the defensive imprisonment. That Lycan Wolves has been sitting next to him the entire time. But Aloha Dance, oh, nice shackle from God. You can say goodbye to Artstyle. You can probably also kiss Soneko's ass goodbye. As Nature's Prophet is the one to take both of these kills. You've taken mid-ranks, you're 3-17 on the board, and your advantage has gone through the roof. You have 15,000 gold, and about 7.5k in experience 21 minutes in.
Yeah, this is... I don't know what happened. Like, I thought VP was floundering. That's what I heard from people. I heard like, oh man, like VP look pretty bad.
Yeah,
and then
that's actually exactly what's been going around. Like VP, it's I don't think anyone had real confidence with them. Even in this tournament, like they had to go through ATN, and that forced them into a third series. And they only just made it. Every other game has been drawn. Like they drew up against the Greeks. They drew up against Empire. Like the last game they won was up against London Conspiracy. But that was also during LC's tilt period. Didi Ra, oh, the ulti's going to trigger, and you can say goodbye to your Lycan. Yeah, there definitely wasn't a lot of confidence coming into this VP lineup tonight, but they've executed this really nicely, and it kind of feels too like Na'Vi have put themselves in a spot where they can't do much about it. Like the Invoker needs time to come online. The Faceless Void needs combo heroes. The Witch Doctor, you mentioned it when we were like 10 minutes into the game. Where is the ulti over on Jakiro? Where is the ulti on the Witch Doctor? You don't have these easy combo heroes to go with the Witch Doctor, with the Faceless Void, and you're also running for the, like, you're running a lineup with a Void Chrono where there's no burst damage. Like, where is the scary factor that comes out from Lycan?
Yeah.
He's building a Necro book? Okay, there's a push lineup. He's meant to work with Jakiro. Currently, I'm seeing 2 tier 1 towers down for a lineup which is meant to be pushing you.
No, I think this is just a really cool strategy from VP, the way that they... It's not necessarily if you just look at their 5 and be like, oh, this is the kind of strategy it is. It's more the fact that they just abuse Navi's picks. They saw the opening of that. They weren't going to be able to provide any rotations. So I think that really just comes down to this Furion, which just actually leads me to more and more support this guy as like kind of like the best offlaner you can get your hands on, because I do actually feel like Furion almost single-handedly won them this game with the repeated rotations into mid that shut down Dendi so hard, and then also the pushing power he was able to give VP. That this lineup just, it doesn't look like it, but it actually came online so quickly that Navi couldn't actually respond. You look at VP's lineup, it actually looks kind of greedy in the way, you know, they're running a 4 position Doom, a safe lane OD, a Treant Protector is your hard 5, but it's actually not solely. I think it's pretty much solely because of the Furion, and also the way that the laning phase kind of played itself out with the weird swapperoo that they were doing, where they kept the OD matched up against the Faceless Void. That was also a really good setup by VP to ensure that they had the advantage. Because then if you look at that, they Navi are left with this extra hero that wasn't able to do anything. The Chikiro wasn't able to really do anything in the laning phase. It's just not that good of a harasser, and it's this kind of like team fight, like pushing hero.
It's the downside about Chikiro, right? Like, it's the reason why he's not picked up a hell of a lot anymore. Like, if the lane presence doesn't do enough, then, oh, wow, did your Ra as well. Like, you take Roshan, then you instantly go into killing off the Lycan.
Yeah, she's just having no mercy.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't threatened him once. That is actually the biggest thing. Like, he's gone for this, like, Maelstrom build, which was, like, super squishy, but high amounts of DPS, like, relatively early on. And then he went for the Blink Dagger for all this initiation. But Navi never structured, like, a good smoke gank to catch G out or something like that. So he's been like just running at you constantly, blinking in, shackle shotting, because he just has no fear, both literally and figuratively. He's got no fear backing him up with his living armor, but he just also isn't really scared of Navi because they haven't punished him ever. So that's the thing about Dota. It's like somewhat of a psychological game. If you don't ever punish the enemy for being greedy or being aggressive or something like that, they're going to continue to push that limit as hard as they possibly can to gain themselves an advantage. And until you do actually punish them, they'll just keep going and going and going. So he's managed to just like make a lot of individual kills happen by, you know, positioning himself really aggressively. FNG?
Yeah, he's going in deep, man.
He is going in deep. He's got the Orchid.
Yeah, and
he's got the kill on General.
Oh my god. Was looking for General to stop that Chronosphere from happening. And Goku triggers the BKB, a perfect shackle out as well. And that's going to basically be the game. You can buy back as many people as you want to, but that OD is so huge, and he's still got his ultimate marble with 70 stolen intelligence. The GG call comes out, an ultra kill from Yoku to finish it. The man, FNG, all he wanted to do, you can see the positioning as well from Virtus.Pro. They were worried about one thing and one thing alone. Chrono making them lose the fight.
Yeah.
And they found him. They found him perfectly.
Did you see how like Navi were playing the floor is lava game? And VP just didn't care. Like, they had a Macro Pyre and Meteor that landed perfectly, and like literally nobody from VP lost HP. And again, this whole strategy just comes down to the fact that they punished Navi